And what did Beam do?
Beam essentially popularized online payments because Beam was an app launched by NPCI, launched by the Prime Minister, built by NPCI. And it, for the first time...
NPCI is?
NPCI is the National Payment Corporation of India, which runs India's payment systems. It's an amazing organization. So NPCI launched Beam, and Beam was the first exposure people got to a mobile payment app. And then, of course, everybody came in. You had Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, all that. And then, of course, today, UPI does 14.4 billion transactions in a month.
Can you explain the difference between a Beam kind of transaction and a UPI transaction?
A Beam is a particular app. So it's a consumer app on my phone on which I can initiate a payment. UPI is Unified Payment Interface, which is the underlying protocol which makes the payment happen between two apps and two different bank accounts.
Can you break that down for me? What do you mean by protocol? I read a bunch of the stuff you've written as well, where you use the word protocol a lot.
Yeah.
What is a protocol?
Protocol is just a way of describing the packet of exchange of a transaction. So UPI protocol is for payments.
So you're saying exchanging of information, let's say I have ABC, I want to tell you, you want to tell me DEF, that exchange is called a protocol?
No, the exchange is done through a protocol, which is a way of describing. If you look at the internet has a protocol, right, TCP/IP, which described how data moves on the internet. So UPI protocol is a protocol that describes how payment values move in a payment network. And that enables dissimilar organizations to talk to each other for that category of activity.
What do you mean by dissimilar organizations?
I mean, like two banks and two mobile apps. So example, I am on Beam, I am in State Bank of India. You're using Phone Pay or Google Pay and you are in HDFC Bank. I can pay you in real time. Why is that? Because the protocol, everybody talks the same language. It's like there's a language of that business of payments.
Would I be right in saying if UPI is the protocol that transfers value from one store to another, and its first representation is INR and the first store is a bank account, that same protocol can be used for other things?
Yeah, it can be a multi-currency protocol. It can be for wallets, bank accounts. Tomorrow it can be used for CBDC. So you can, once you have that basic infrastructure on that, you can add different types of accounts. So
UPI will work as seamlessly for, let's say, remittances coming into India?
No, that requires a little more work. For example, NPCI of India under the aegis of the RBI and Singapore under the aegis of MAS, which is their central bank. They have built a connection between UPI and Singapore's Fast Pay or whatever it's called. That now I can transfer money from my bank account in a Singapore bank to somebody in India, convert it from Singapore dollars to Indian rupees. Yeah, but you have to build those bridges. So it's a bit cumbersome because you have to go to each country and the two countries have to come out with the rules. That's why
so
it takes time.
So would you say that bridge is like a translation between two protocols?
But it's also about things like fraud, prevention of money laundering, capital account convertibility, a number of issues when you do a cross-country, right? I mean, India, for example, Indians can't transfer more than $250,000 a year, LRS and so on. So whereas Singaporeans have capital account convertibility. So how do you match the different rules of the two countries? That a lot of the work goes in that.
Right. So tell us more about UPI, because it seems like it's this thing which changed the entire ecosystem. So you said it's a protocol, INR representation, store was one bank account to another bank account. Why did it scale in the manner that it did? What did it provide that a traditional bank account to bank account transfer did not?
Well, at that time, before UPI, there was no way for two people to make a payment to each other. I mean, if I said to you, how do I send you money? There was no way to do it. What if I go to my bank and they used to have that net transfer and all. Yeah, and you can do net banking and all. That's all very, you go there, do something. Here I can just tap on my phone and send you money. The convenience Real-time ease of use and convenience was a different league. Now, UPI was conceived in 2013. And in 2015, I became an advisor to NPCI on innovation and public policy. And NPCI built it. It took 3 years to build it and launched it on, as I said, on May 11, 2016. And it was designed by NPCI, Dilip Asbe and others, and Pramod on the architecture side. Dr. Pramod Verma was also the Aadhaar architect. So all these people got together and designed this amazing, very high volume, very low cost, highly scalable payment infrastructure. So it made sending money as easy as sending an email or sending a WhatsApp message.
Is that because now each person had a unique ID per se?
No, you could have multiple. The UPI was actually more sophisticated in the sense that you could have a UPI ID. So it could connect to it's called a virtual ID. It can connect to a bank account. You could use a account number. You could use a mobile number as the address. You could use a virtual name as the address. So Nikhil at some Axis Bank or something. So all these possibilities were there. So it just made it easy to use and real time. So, and then two big things happened, right? So demonetization gave the first boost to digital payments because people had to make payments and the cash was not there. And then the pandemic also, people didn't want to hand over money. They would rather point to a QR code and send money. So both these two tailwinds also drove and of course the ease of use and the amazing benefits people got from it.
Right. So DPI journey, let's say, started in 2009 when you started building Aadhaar. By 2013, you had largely solved for online authentication.
Yeah, already up and running.
And benefit transfer via Aadhaar in a way.
Yeah.
2013, eKYC came about. 2015, e-sign also happened with DigiLocker. And 2016, you had these inflection points of demonetization, Geo launch, UPI, Beam being launched.
And Aadhaar reaching 1 billion.
And Aadhaar reaching
at scale.
At scale.